Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Bridget Cook-Burch with Inspired Legacy Publishing, and I am so excited to present to you Lindsey Coleman, and he's going to tell you all about his brand new book. So, Lindsey, please tell us the title of your book, what it's all about, and why this book? Why did you write it?
The title of my book is When God Has More Faith Than Your Doctors. Watching what doctors say, watching what God does, feeling what God does. The whole idea of the book is to help people understand how to overcome their certain issues. If you have issues of poverty, issues of alcoholism or drug addiction or anything in your family, the book will help you know that it can be beaten. Along with those issues, people may have more serious issues, such as cancer, but you'll want to read the book to get a feeling about other issues, having 5% lung function. As you read the book, you can actually overcome different issues just by feeling that you can. There's also issues about going from nothing to gaining things and being able to grow in abundance of the things that you have, so that you're able to share those things, that you have the time and the extra finances that you may be able to help other people. You'll learn all of these things through the book.
Writing this book was a pretty enormous process for you.
It has been.
Yeah,
yes.
That's you've done so well in business, and you've done so well in overcoming illnesses, and you've done so well in creating, and being an entrepreneur and creating wellness products and all these amazing things. But writing was a whole other animal for you. Will you share with us what writing the book was like for you?
Boy, where do you start when you write a book? One of the first things that I did as we really got serious about the idea was to go to one of your retreats. At the retreat, we started that back in 2015. And probably by about 2017, I would say we were close to 95% finished with the book. But then with 2017 and coming up with the cancer, we became only 50% finished with the book, and things that have happened since then.
And what kinds of things did you discover about yourself in the process of writing the book?
Really, it's all more about being grateful. And every time you think about some of the things that have happened to me and the possibilities of not making it, not being here, and realizing that about miracles. And then when you start really knowing there's real miracles out there, then you have to pay attention to what you manifest in your own life is how you're going to create those miracles to happen.
Lindsey, you've overcome so much in your life, and we don't want to give away the farm, but multiple physical difficulties and this traversing from absolute poverty into a beautiful abundance, right? But your abundance means more to you than just financial wealth. Will you explain what abundance is to you?
Yep. The abundance is basically being able to share and help more people. I've created a few different products that were created basically for me and some of my issues, and we've actually had them manufactured and put on the market since. A lot of people enjoy them, but some people can't afford them, and we're actually able to help and give those away. I have lots of people that I help with real estate, and I have some deals that have actually cost me money to help people, just because you give up the commissions and knowing that you have enough and you're grateful for what you have. I've been able to help single moms and to get their dreams, get into their homes, and actually help change their lives. And even with some of those people and the women that I've helped, I tell them they need to manifest, because some of their goals are pretty unlikely to happen, but we've had miracles happen from people improving their goals and manifesting what they expect.
So do you think that most people dream too little?
Yes. I think everybody just needs to make it something that you're going to manifest or dream of that seems out of this world. And I know I've way exceeded what I thought I could ever become. I'm not rich or anything, but we're comfortable.
Lindsey has done more after coming out of a coma, after having faced several medical issues, than most people will create in their lifetime, just in the last few years alone. And some people who had diminished lung capacity or different health challenges, they would have really given up a long time ago. And you said that attitude is the most important thing, and that's so much of what the book is about. When is the first time that you recognized that you had a choice of attitude?
Yeah, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, is about the time when we lived over next to the bus depot. And I had a friend who was fairly rich, and his family was fairly rich, and he was really probably my best friend at that age. And I was able to see what they did, what they had. And I just knew at that point in time that I had to be an entrepreneur, even at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, in order to make changes. And I surpassed what I even expected by the time I was 21, 22, 23 years old. And since then, we just doubled the goals.
And double the goals, and double the goals. So you came from this background of some pretty intense poverty consciousness. And so to see, your family that's barely getting by, and your father really, he didn't have high or lofty goals at all. He just was slaking to survive. And having alcoholism was really difficult too. So his scope of what was possible in the world was really small. And then your friend, coming from a wealthy family, that there was a bigger scope of what was possible. But you've continued to do that in your health as well. And so what is the number one thing that you would tell to others if they've been given a life-threatening diagnosis, if they've been told you'll have this for the rest of your life, or you're gonna lose your leg no matter what? What would you tell people? Not medical advice, but what would you tell them from the inside out?
I would tell them to go ahead and listen to the doctors, pay attention to the doctors, but know the doctors aren't always right. Do enough of your own research. Listen to other people that may have some good advice for you. Then follow it up and check it out. Make sure you feel good about that advice. Pray about it, meditate about it, whatever it is you need to do. But if you just follow your own heart, and I've had to do that numerous times, especially with the kidney cancer. If I would have listened to what the doctor suggested, I definitely wouldn't have been here. And even during the coma, when my wife noticed bumps, rashes, or different things on me and would talk to the doctors and nurses, they would just say, "Oh, it's nothing, it'll be okay." She went home and Googled the symptoms at 1 o'clock in the morning, going through it, and found out that they were giving me the wrong medications, and they had to get me off that medication immediately. And you just listen to the doctors, but don't be afraid to share your opinion with them.
Beautiful. I had the opportunity to be a little part of this book, and what was extraordinary is, Lindsey had an experience in the hospital where he had to go into a coma for a time, and then his wife takes over the narrative because he's in the coma and there is a whole lot of stuff going on the outside, doctors and your condition and decisions that needed to be made. And you got to read the book to find out what happens. But you come out of this coma and you had a different point of view and also some gifts to share with the world. And so give the readers a little taste of who you met on the other side.
Yeah, so it was very interesting why in the coma, you don't really know where you are. It's a different feeling. It's not as if you're alive. It's not like it's a dream, but there's some other dimension that you feel like. And through this dimension, I actually visited with my dad's brothers and sisters and all of my brothers at one time at the house we grew up, or all of his brothers at the house we grew up in, Rose Park. And they had all never been there before. But everybody there was in like their 40s. And there's quite a few more experiences like that we had throughout the book.
Beautiful. And the dynamic colors and the other things. And that was really beautiful, having had a near-death experience and you having a near-death experience. We had some beautiful things that we wanted to make sure that got brought out in the book. So one of the things, because over and over and over you mentioned attitude. How important do you think your own attitude is in terms of your wellness?
You have to know that you're going to get through whatever it is. A really sad example is my sister had kidney cancer. She listened to the doctors completely, didn't listen to a lot of other advice from other people, stayed here, did it, had the cancer removed here, the kidney removed, and she survived just a few years with that. But her attitude, she knew she was going to die, and as I had my cancer, I knew I was going to kick it. And really, it's just attitude.
Attitude, beautiful. So even if you're given a terminal diagnosis or you're having other things, attitude can still make a difference in longevity and in the quality of your life from everything that I've seen and experienced. And then through your story, man, you knocked my socks off. Like he's a cat with 9 lives. He'll probably grow 9 more lives before he's done. So it's extraordinary. Lindsey, what is something you would want to make sure that people know no matter what? So let's just say you're going to reach 1 million strangers. What do you want them to know about what's possible here on the planet? And maybe what you've learned about manifestation and visualization and attitude. Like, what do you want them to know?
I just really believe that everything is possible, even no matter how wild you think it is. I mean, I've helped people that want to live in a neighborhood where there's only $700,000-800,000 homes. Somebody that wants their kids to be close to their mom so they can go there after school. They're in the neighborhood of $700,000-800,000 homes, and they only qualify for $240,000. Looking at areas way out west, and I said, you've got to drop this down. You keep saying you want to live by your kids or by your mom, but yet you're looking at 220,000 houses in different areas. And I told her, start manifesting that you want to be there. That's the only place you're going to look anymore. We start looking, and she has this incredible home within walking distance for the kids, right where she wanted it to be.
And affordable?
At $240,000, and it's worth about $600,000 now. But somehow she was able to get into it for the $240,000. I have another friend that had MS. Boy, she had a tough time, and she still has MS, but had a tough time finding anything. But she manifested that she needed a condo or something on the first level. This is when prices were a little cheaper, but we were still able to find her one for $130,000 when prices were around $300,000. And if you can get somebody to actually manifest, I've done it with cars, I've done it with houses, I've done it with business deals, and I've helped other people do it themselves. If they just manifest it, just know it's going to happen.
You have a story in the book that I think the readers would enjoy knowing a little bit more about you. Tell us a little bit about your work at the Salt Palace and how you first started.
So when we were born, and the first house that we lived in was right next to the bus depot. If you can imagine people that hang out at the bus depot and stuff right next door to you, and they have these arcade machines. You go over and play those, and you're seeing all these degenerate type people. But across the street from the bus depot is the Salt Palace. And as I was growing up, they had kids that would walk up and down the aisle selling soda pop, peanuts, popcorn, whatever it was. So at 8, 9 years old, I would go over and try to sell, but sometimes there was bigger kids, and once in a while I'd get picked for it. But I learned through that time that there was other things to do, and I actually found a little cutout hole in a wall that was a pipe to bring recording equipment and cords and everything through this little hole in the wall. And I could go ahead from the inside when I didn't get picked, go out over to this little hole, or I learned to actually crawl through the wall, go ahead, open the door on the inside, charge people that were, 15 to 30, 35 years old, $1 to go in and watch the Golden Eagle hockey, or the Utah Stars is what they were called at the time. They would come in through this room, walk up 3 flights of stairs, and come out in the bathroom. And I would charge $1 a piece and make anywhere from 15, 16 bucks a night at 8 or 9 years old.
I didn't remember that part, but I remembered when you would go in so that you could be selected to earn some money. And so here you were where your parents worked hard to provide food on the table, but they didn't always have money for sneakers or for a pair of clothes for school, a pair of jeans or t-shirts or a coat. And you and your entrepreneurial
we would just figure it out.
You would figure it out every time.
And I really find it amazing that nowadays, and things have changed a lot, but it was still some pretty rough areas. But kids just they're not given the opportunity by their parents to even go mow lawns, go do whatever, go shovel the snow. Kids just don't do that much these days. And I did all kinds of stuff, and I don't want anybody thinking at all that I'm complaining about my childhood, because I've learned so much stuff, and it's really made me exceed anything I thought I would become. So I would like to invite everybody to go ahead and take a look at yourselves, look at where you want to be, think about what it's going to take to get there, visualize it happening. When I couldn't walk, I could visualize me walking. When the doctors say, you're never going to use that leg again, visualize that you are going to do it. One experience that they said I would never walk again was when I rolled the Jeep on the freeway. Put my leg out to hold the Jeep up like you would a motorcycle. Going down the freeway, 470 feet, taking off all the muscle and everything on you, and it only took the bone left. Doctors saying it will never heal, you will never walk. 6 months later, I'm hunting on crutches. But I had visualized that I would be hunting that year. And it wasn't for the deer, for the meat, it was because I visualized it and I wanted to do it. If you need help visualizing things, reach out to me, lindseycoleman.com. As you read the book, if you have questions, need any help, feel free to reach out and enjoy the book.